Hello, I'm Scott. Thanks for joining me. And what I'm going to do now is go through some puppy dog photos that I've just taken because it's lockdown. I haven't been able to take pictures of dancers for a while. And, well, thought you might be interested in seeing how I process my photos. So, I'm here in Lightroom and, firstly, got to put the card in. So I'm going to put the card in and then we go over here in Lightroom. So the card's in. Press Command-Shift-I for import. And there you can see the cards popped up here. Select the card. You can see there's a ton of photos there. And one thing I did learn is over here under Build Previews, select Embedded and Sidecar because that will make the preview much faster. I learned that. I can't remember which YouTube video that was in. But that's a really, really great tip. So give that a go. And then down here, I'm not going to add any develop settings. The keywords I'm going to use Dennis because I took pictures of Dennis. And I'm putting the cards here into 2000. Oh, it's not 2000. It's not August anymore. So let's go up into 2021. Put them into the subfolder. 2021-09. It's the first of September today. That's exciting. And we've just added a subfolder September 2021. Press return. So that's where we're saving our files into. Hit import and here they come. And normally I will put these on the second display and have them full screen on this display that you can see, but screen recording, it's just going on the one display. And just having a quick look, Dennis is out of focus there. Just get rid of this little thing. And he's still out of focus, so I'm not going to use any of those. Just checking these ones. Doesn't look any good. Check these ones. Nah. However, have a look at this one. It's a bit out of focus. Are there any here that I like? It was really nice. It was coming into the sun here. And you can see how quickly I'm going through the photos. That's I'm amazed. Because you used to have to sit there and wait. Oh, look at that smile. That one. All right, so we're going to develop. And the first thing I'm going to do is crop. And put him, give him a little bit more room on the top. There we go, just checking over here when it's a bit smaller. What I like to do is not quite have him centered, but put him so if we look at the smaller image here, it looks balanced. And then I've got a heap of, what are these things called? Presets set up. And I learnt these from another YouTube video. So the first one is start here. And what that does is bring the highlights all the way down to -100, the blacks, the shadows all the way up to 100, and the clarity down to -20. And then I'm going to hit camera light. And I might change this to camera neutral later. But for now, camera light. And that changes the profile up here to camera light. And then I'm going to set this sets the white balance to daylight. So you can see over here the white balance is daylight. And then coming down further, I've got different lens settings. Sharpening and masking, I have this preset, so let's go down here to sharpening and masking and see what it's done. So just roughly there, and roughly if you hold the option key down you can see what it's masking. So anything that's black, anything that's white is being masked, and anything that's black is not being masked. So I have it, and that seems to work for me. And then I put the 70-200 lens corrections on because I was shooting with this lens. And lastly, you can see my vibrance here and saturation is plus 15 and plus 10. That's in one of the settings. I'm just going to turn that off, turn them down so they're back to 0. And having a look at the histogram, if I increase the exposure, the histogram goes up to the center, but obviously you can see that it's way overexposed there. So just double click, brings it back to 0. What I'm going to do now is hold down the option key and move the whites until I start seeing dots. And that's overexposed, so I'm going to bring it back a bit so there's not so many dots. And see what that looks like. So that's before and that's after. There's not too much difference there. Sometimes there's a lot of difference, and you can do it to your taste. Bring the blacks down ever so slightly. I always try and be subtle. And then we come to the tones and bring those up. Bring the, where are we, the lights up, and bring the darks down a little bit. This adds some contrast. And then increase the contrast by 20, plus 20. And then I might come over and just play with the color temperature. And I like that. You might not. And that's okay. I do. That's what I'm going with. And that's kind of about it. So we can see the before photo and the after. So you can see there's a lot more detail in the highlights. There's a lot more detail in the shadows. The colours are nice and punchy, but not too over the top. Sometimes I might bring the colours back a bit. So if we come down to the saturation, press the Command, Option, Shift, and is it S? Yes. And then I might come over to the greens and pull those down a bit, which they're actually yellows. But right now I'm happy with this, so double click on saturation to reset those. I like it. And this is my starting point. If I go further, I might open it up in Photoshop and go into Color Effects Pro or Silver Effects Pro. But for now, I'm happy with this. And to export, I press Command, Option, Shift, E. And you can see that's exported the photo, and there it is there. That's a shortcut to export. Command Shift E will bring up the export dialog box, and I've got the preset here, messages. It goes to a specific folder, and I've told it where to go to. I've told it to rename date file name, so I have the date 2021-09-01, and there's a file name. JPEG at quality 75, the long edge at 1200, sharpen for screen, and then show in Finder. So if I hit export, of course I've just saved it, but if I overwrite that, it exports it, and here is the photo, and there it is. And then I will send that to my mum, because I can. All right, well, that's it for me. Hope you found it interesting. You might have learned something, you might not have, but that's generally how I would process one photo. I'm not going to say like or subscribe because you can do what you want. All right, bye for now.